Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, my question is to the Prime Minister and asks, when he said, quote, "there's always clarification of the rules and they're not always straightforward," end quote, in relation to the Hon Christopher Finlayson on 4 occasions failing to declare a directorship he held, what did he find, quote, "not always straightforward" about the requirement to declare, quote, "the name of each company of which the member is a director"?
The Honourable Bill English on behalf of the Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Prime Minister, the member was quoting selectively. At that point in the stand-up with journalists, I was talking about the pecuniary interest register in general, not Mr Finlayson.
The Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Supplementary question.
The Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Has he discussed this issue with the Attorney-General?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I can't answer as to whether the Prime Minister has discussed it with the Attorney-General or not.
The Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Supplementary question. Has the Prime Minister seen the legal advice referred to by Chris Finlayson on this matter?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, again, I can't answer that question, but I think I could say to the member that we need to keep these things in perspective. The pecuniary register interest is available to members to assist and to members to modify their register if and when information comes to hand or legal advice changes. And I think most, as members know, the requirements around the register have actually evolved over recent years.
The Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Question to the Prime Minister. Did he seek Cabinet Office advice in relation to the opinion from Mr Finlayson's Friends Trust's lawyer on the meaning of whether the requirement that, quote, "the name of each company of which the member is a director," end quote, means that the name of each company of which the member is a director, end quote, must be so declared? And if so, what was that advice?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, again, I can't give the member that answer on behalf of the Prime Minister. What I can say, though, is I'm sure the member actually shares my view that clarification of the rules is often required. For instance, when in the last Parliament a member did not declare a $100,000 gift on their register, that member was part of a party who voted against a censure motion when clearly the register's requirements hadn't been met.
The Honourable Trevor Mallard.
4 years in a row.
When to the Prime Minister, when he said on the November the 17th, 2008, quote, "I expect high standards of my ministers," did that include the expectation that his Attorney-General would file false returns, and that the Prime Minister's response would be, "I don't know because I don't ask"?
The Honourable Bill English.
No, Mr Speaker. As the member knows, the Prime Minister has high standards. He might be a bit confused by that member's standards, who seems to regard this as a significant breach of the register that requires censure. But when he was given the opportunity to vote for a censure motion for a former member who did not declare a $100,000 gift, he decided to vote against that censure motion. So I'm not sure what the member's standards are.
The Honourable Order. The Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, is it the Prime Minister's view that the Attorney-General's filing of 4 false declarations is more or less serious than the member for Clutha Southland declaring to 3 speakers that his primary place of residence is Dipton?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, it's the Prime Minister's view that he expects high standard and he expects members to comply with the requirements of Parliament, and that's what his members do.
Question number 5.